So there's the former world junior champion, K.Momota, waiting for his match against T.Sugiarto. K.Momota, the 20-year-old from Japan, finished the year ranked 6th on the Super Series ranking, having competed in all 12 tournaments. Semi-final in France. T.Sugiarto, 26-year-old from West Jakarta. Well, he started the year so well, reached the final of the first of the premier Super Series events, the Malaysian Super Series. So, K.Momota, the left-hander.
Off you go. Go. Please.
World junior champion, the left-hander from Japan, 2 years ago when the World Junior Championships was staged in Chiba in his home country. First Japanese player to win gold at the World Junior Championships in men's singles. The World Championship bronze medalist T.Sugiarto, beaten finalist at the Super Series finals 12 months ago. Well, he's not had the best of tournaments, and he will be playing for pride today because he's played 2 matches and lost 2 matches. Lost to Jan Jorgensen, the number 2 seed, and to the number 4 seed, Shrikant Kidambi.
Black. It's red, you in the ball.
So this will be the 4th meeting between these 2 players. T.Sugiarto from Indonesia against K.Momota of Japan. Well, of the previous 3 meetings between these 2, it's T.Sugiarto who has the advantage, having won 2 of them. In fact, the last 2 occasions, including the quarter-final of the Australian Super Series earlier this year, and that was 2 straight games, and a really rather strange scoreline, 21-18, 21-7. I was surprised and disappointed by Momota's performance in that 2nd game in Sydney. But he is a hugely talented individual, that is for certain. He's up 1 place on the world ranking this week to 14. He has, earlier this year in May, been as high as 11, spent 3 weeks as number 11. But after the Hong Kong Super Series, the last of the Super Series events, went down 2 places to number 6. But a big supporter of the Super Series, the whole Japanese team. He, like so many of his compatriots, have played in all 12 Super Series events. He lost to Shrikant Kidambi, having won the opening game, 21-10 in the decider. And then yesterday, against the number 2 seed, he beat Jan Jorgensen, having dropped the opening game. So T.Sugiarto, the 26-year-old from Jakarta, well, he's down 3 places in the world ranking this week, down from 5 to number 8, as you can see. Withdrew from 2 Super Series events earlier this year, both India and Singapore, because of injury problems. And as I was saying, he's played 2 matches. He's lost 2 matches so far in these Super Series finals. Bronze medalist at the World Championships in August earlier this year in Copenhagen as the number 5 seed, lost to the eventual gold medalist Chen Long. So our umpire for this is Mike Walker from Canada, and Susan Taylor from Australia is our service judge. Well, there's no questioning Kento.Momota's talent and his potential. And he showed that yesterday, I thought, with his victory over Jan Jorgensen. Hour and 6 minutes. He's had two tough matches. First one was an hour, and then, as I say, yesterday, an hour and 6 minutes, whereas Sugiarto has lost both his matches in double quick time, 34 minutes and 38 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, T.Sugiarto, Indonesia. And on my left, Kento.Momota, Japan. Kento.Momota to serve, love all, play.
So, Kento.Momota, the former world junior champion,
One, love.
has to win this match to have any chance of qualifying for the semi-finals. And even if he wins in two straight games, it will still depend what happens in the last match in the group, which is Jan Jorgensen against Shrikant Kidambi. So we won't know for certain, but as far as the young left-hander is concerned, he'll just be focusing on trying to get on and win in two straight games. That, of course, gives himself the best chance of qualifying. But more than I was saying, what a talented player he was. You and I had the delight of watching him and his teammates cause a sensation at the Thomas Cup finals earlier this year in Delhi.
Yes.
He was selected to play 5 of the 6 matches, and the 5 matches he played, he won them all, including beating Du Pengyu in the semi-final against China, and then in the final at second men's singles beat Chong Wei Feng. He was a huge part of Japan's success in those Thomas Cups.
He was, and I think the whole Japanese team kind of peaked for that Thomas Cup. They really played well, but as we've said so often before, it was really Kento.Momota and Tago, the 2 men's singles 1 and 2 from Japan, that really set it all up, winning crucial points for Japan. I would say, though, that since then, and that was in May, I've been a little bit disappointed about both the Japanese men's singles players, and hopefully they're starting to pick up now, because I know that they can do much better than what I've seen in the last 6 months.
4-2.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You know, when you've got a player that was so sensational at those Thomas Cup finals, when you look at his Super Series record for the year, 1 semi-final, 4 quarterfinals, which is good, that he's continually getting through a couple of rounds, but 2 second-round losses and 5 first-round losses.
Yeah, and that's too much.
It is.
Especially if you are like top 10, 15 in the world. That's out.
Missed it.
Yeah.
Service over. 3-5.
And I think it's just so important for Momota here to get a good start and really show Sugiarto that, you know, I'm here, I want to win, and if you want to win, you have to work so hard to beat me. You know, sending that signal would say, you know, Sugiarto has got nothing to play for. He is out anyway, no matter what happens to him in this match. So yes, he's going through the motions, he's playing the match. For him, he can even consider it as practice. And Momota just have to show him, you know, I'm going to beat you. But Sugiarto will obviously stay in and work his way if Momota is not really stamping authority here.
What a rally. Oh, just wide.
Service over. 6-3.
Oh, well, he broke the strings of his racket with that final smash.
4-6.
Yeah, he knew it immediately. Looks down at the strings. You know, that previous rally to that last one, Morton, that long, grueling rally, and, you know, it was occurring to me as it was in progress. I'm not seeing the sort of urgency in the style of play from Momota that we saw during the Thomas Cup finals. And I don't know if you have any theories as to why the two top Japanese players in Kenichi Tago and this man on court right now, Momota, as to why they've maybe gone off the boil since the Thomas Cup, or I just don't know. I know you've said that they peaked, which is wonderful that they did, but, you know, I'm thinking of other players in this particular tournament, and a player we'll see a little later, Srikanth Kidambi, who's feeding off success. Yep. Having won the China Open, he's now just oozing confidence. Now, I haven't seen, I would have expected the two Japanese players, after lifting the Thomas Cup and being such important roles that they played in that victory, to build on that, and I haven't seen any building, and I don't know what it is, because, you know, he's got shots like that's absolutely magnificent. It's magnificent.
Yes.
7.
Yeah, I agree with you. It simply lacks urgency.
Yeah.
And he can play so much better and focused and faster and furious than what we've seen for 6 months. But I don't know him, and I don't know how he's working in training. I have no idea, so therefore it's impossible to say what's happening. But, you know, being 20 years old and haven't really won any international tournaments as such, he should be really hungry and happy for what happened at the Thomas Cup in May.
Yeah.
And as you say, been feeding on it, but somehow it doesn't happen.
No. Missed it. 48 shots in that rally.
7.
Just for the records, Momota has won 3 titles in his career last year. First 3 tournaments of the year: Estonia International, Swedish International, Austrian International. Now, I can remember thinking at the time, this is great development. They've sent this youngster out to international events, which is below the Grand Prix, before sending him to Grand Prix events, and now here in 2014 he's a regular on the Super Series. He's played in all 12 Super Series. Now, I'm very much in favour of that sort of development, going up through the tiers of tournament within the sport. But you're right, he hasn't even won a Grand Prix tournament, let alone a Grand Prix Gold, or been in a final of a Super Series event.
Service over.
And he's got the capability.
7-8.
And that just comes back to what I've said so many times earlier, that, you know, talent obligates.
Yeah.
And that's obviously why, you know, I sit here and say, oh, I expected more, because he's so talented. But still young, 20 years old, so let's see what happens in the next 2 or 3 years.
Fault.
Good smash.
Eight all.
That's it. In the first two matches Sugiarto has
9,
played in this group,
8.
in the tournament in this group, he's not really been able to follow pace. When he played Jan Jorgensen in the first match, he lost quite easily, and Jan, when I spoke to him, said, you know, he just couldn't follow pace. And when we saw him play yesterday against Srikant, he was not able to follow pace either. And therefore, I think Momota really have to, you know, look at how did other players play Sugiarto and what can I do, and for the time being it's a little bit too slow, which means that Sugiarto can follow pace quite easily, no trouble. And then in all
Service
fairness to the
9
defense
all.
of Sugiarto, I must say that I think the injury he sustained at the World Championships in August had set him back.
Yes.
So, you know, in all fairness and in his defense, he's lacking pace due to that injury, I have no doubts.
He slipped in his semi-final, didn't he? And it was a hamstring or adductor muscle that seemed to go.
He's out. It's called in.
Challenge. Challenge. T.Sugiarto. Call in.
No, that's quite clear.
Yeah. I think Sugiarto will win this one. So let's see if we can get one right, Jill. Let's see.
Otherwise, we're off to the opticians tomorrow.
We are. It's called in.
Challenge unsuccessful. Service over.
Okay,
10,
I'll pack it in.
9.
Simply pack it in.
T.Sugiarto has one challenge remaining. Service over. 10 all.
Good judgment. Drops long.
11,
And it is
10, interval.
Sugiarto who has the advantage at the mid-game interval. 11-10.
Perhatiin dia lagi ikut irama lu semua, jadi lu pegang terus nih sampai kendor sampai gitu harus rapat sama lu. Kalau turunnya ngangkat gini tuh yang dia lagi gini lu ngangkat sekali lagi tuh bahaya. Tapi kalau turun lu turunin dulu baru lu ngangkat nggak apa-apa. Jadi lu narik posisinya dia nggak enak terus. Itu yang penting ya. Jadi lu dari itu lu lebih yakin tunjukin lebih rapat. Lagi enak colong, lagi baik colong. Tapi sabar aja. Dia nggak bertahan nih kelihatannya. Ya, ayo narik terus.
Well, the two coaches, Kento from Japan and Marlieve Maniki from Indonesia, they've had their say. Now it's up to the players.
11-10, play.
Oh, what a delightful
Service
drop
over.
shot.
11 all.
I don't know if it occurred to you, Morton, just watching that round the head cross-court drop from the left-hander there.
Yep.
Did that look like Lindan to you?
A lot of things look like Lindan.
With Momota?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just being left-handed.
No.
But he just doesn't have that explosive
Service over.
injection of pace.
12-11.
He has.
But he doesn't use it.
Yes. That's what impresses me when he's playing.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, just
Yeah.
impresses me when he's playing. You know, he works like a jack in the box. He's suddenly up there, and you never know what you're up against. Here it comes, but somehow, I think the basic game at the moment, as what he's playing now, is simply too slow. That lift is too slow. And when he played well in May in the Thomas Cup, there was
13,
one thing he was
11.
really, really good at. Net play.
Yeah.
Targo and Momota, they played so well at the net. And here we see him pushing it away, don't take many chances, just it becomes too slow. It's not setting himself up nicely.
Yeah. Oh, he tried to get out of the way, I think.
11.
Hence the wry smile. Should have let that go. Would have gone long. But clever play from Sugiarto.
Yes, absolutely. He's doing what he's supposed to do, making it difficult, trying to win.
Again.
15-11.
Yeah, that's good play by Sugiarto.
Service over. 12-15.
Did you notice that cross-court left's good? The drop shot Momota played.
Service over.
cross-court.
16.
That was really nice. It was almost like a top-spin drop shot. That
Sweep
one
the
there.
court, please.
Exactly that one.
Yep.
Sweep the court, please.
It's a good shot by Sugiarto. Doesn't take a lot of effort, but really very well placed.
Of course, Morton, you used to play against his father,
Thank you.
Sugiarto.
Yes.
And is Tommy reminiscent, do you think, of Ichuk? Like just a
You make
little,
me cry.
yeah, a little
He's a-
bambino.
He's a spitting image of his
Yeah.
father.
12.
No, just long.
Service over. 13-16. Service over.
You can't afford
17,
errors like that.
13.
No, he can't. No, he can't. And that's what I mean, you know. That's the urgency. He's got to make sure. He's got to keep it going. He's got to make his presence felt. He's got to be there. He's got to be focused.
Yeah.
He's got to win in 2 games.
Yeah. That's nice.
See, that's much better pace. Look at these lifts. They're much better pace. Once again, good pace. And this is where he's good. This is where he can inject that pace.
Service over.
Yeah.
But the shots played to the lift,
14,
the fast attacking lifts,
17.
he played 4 or 5 of them. Much
please.
much better pace than what we've seen earlier in this match. And that's what I call urgency. He's
Yeah.
got to make it count.
Service over. 18-14.
You know, I'm starting to think here, and I shouldn't do that.
Well, it depends what you're thinking.
Yeah. Sugiarto winning. He's got 1.
Yeah.
Means Momota has got 1 as well.
Yeah.
Service
If
over.
Jan Jorgensen lose to Shrikant,
15-18.
Then he's
he's got one
yeah.
as well. So that means Shrikant has got 3 wins.
Yep.
And the other 3 players in the group has got 1 win. And suddenly Sugiarto is in the contention.
Yeah.
I shouldn't think.
No.
I've said all the way, oh, he's out. He's not out.
No.
16.
End up in a situation where 3
18.
players have won 2 matches, or we can end up in a situation where 3 players have won only 1 match each.
The problem is he's lost both his matches in 2 straight games. So even if he wins in 2 straight games now, he'll have won one match, but his game win-loss record will be 2 and 4. So it'll be -2.
Yeah.
Whereas Jan Jorgensen is already 3 and 2. So that's +1. And
17.
Momota
18.
is 3 and 3.
Yeah.
So you were right the first time. Even if
Yeah.
even if Sugiarto wins in 2 straight games,
He's still out.
he's still out.
Service over. 19-17. Wait. Show me. Change the shuttle.
That's quite unusual in men's singles.
Yeah.
Happens a lot more in the women's singles.
Yes, normally in men's
19,
singles when somebody
17.
wants to change the shuttle, The other player just agrees immediately. There's a certain respect.
It's almost a code of conduct between
it is, yeah.
players on that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but look at the pace is so
Serves
much
over.
better now.
Yeah.
18-19.
It's going to be an exciting match to watch the next men's singles as well.
Well, he's left it late in the day, hasn't he, in this opening game, K.Momota.
19 all.
As you suggested, he has upped the pace. More urgency, and it's all level at 19 all.
And in situations like this, Momota is normally cool as a cucumber. The times I've seen him play when it's getting really tight, he's normally good. Let's see if the curse of the commentator here or what happens. But normally he's very cool.
Force the short left.
Yes, but on one of the first times
Game
when
point.
he's actually blocking it to the net.
19.
This one here.
Yeah.
He's been pushing it away from the net all the time during this game, and then suddenly he's blocking it, and that's obviously confusing Sugiarto.
So coming from 14-18 down to now have a game point at 20-19. 6 of the last 7 points. Can he close it out? No, is the answer to that. 20 all. Well done,
Sweep the
Sugiarto.
court, please. Line judge. Sweep the court. Far side.
So 20 all, and that means we'll need extra points until there's a clear 2-point winning margin. That didn't sound too healthy, did it? It sounded as if he's got a bit of a cold.
Yeah, I noticed that yesterday as well.
Thank you. All.
That was a good rally.
Yeah.
That was well played by both
Kento.
players. Momota really had a chance. Sugiarto was standing his ground very well.
Change the shuttle. Change the shuttle.
And the umpire making the decision. Change the shuttle. Well, having saved a game point opportunity, now Sugiarto
21,
has
20.
a game point himself.
Service over. 21 all.
I still think that Momota has only got himself to thank for being in a situation like this.
Just to explain that a little bit more, Morten.
Should he lose this one, I think he's out.
And he hasn't played with this sort of urgency right from the start of the match, which is
Yes.
so he's only got himself to blame.
Yes.
Yep, I see that.
I obviously haven't got all the stats on points and games and all that, but I think he's shooting himself in the foot here.
(22-21).
Well, all is not lost if you're a Japanese fan, because there's now a second game point opportunity for this 20-year-old. That's gone long, and he does indeed convert on his second game point opportunity. 23-21.
23-21.
30 minutes of play.
相手点数欲しかったら相手低く速くなるからさ、あの時ちょっと決まりに行ってもいいから、今みたいにハウスマッシュでもいいからさ、ちょっと沈めていけばいい。相手速いタッチしてお前が甘が上げてきたら一発で決めたいからさ。ちょっと取らんから低地になると甘くなるから、もうシャイな甘くなったらレシーブだけ準備してしっかり。全部完璧にはなかなかいかんからさ。甘がだとシャイな1回2回決められても大丈夫。気にせんと次しっかりフォローしっかりして。Dari depan buka lagi, tapi nggak betah banget di sini. Kanan sini kan, kanan sini. Paling cuma 1-2 poin, dia cuma 1 menit doang. Ya, Tom ya, lagi ya. Usaha lagi dong.
Second game, love all, play.
So, having scraped home in that opening game, Kento.Momota of Japan needs to build on that, give himself a real chance of trying to qualify for the semi-finals tomorrow.
One love.
There's K.Momota. Plum on the line. Oh, strings gone again.
1-all. Yes. Please, just change the record.
A little bit of grip powder makes the handle of the racket a little bit tacky, so the racket doesn't slip in your hand. And of course, badminton players change grips slightly for every shot they play.
One all.
Good aggression in
2-1.
T.Sugiarto. Well, Morton, now 3 matches prior to this. The player that won the opening game has gone on to lose the match.
Okay, I didn't think of that.
Surely we're not going to have the same trend continue throughout today's play, are we?
You never know.
3-1.
You
Yeah.
never know. The only thing I can say is that then it's going to be a very, very long afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, but we don't mind when it's great badminton.
No, 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 I'm not saying that, but it is a long afternoon then.
Yeah.
If all 6 matches are going to 3 games.
Mm. Oh, that's nice. I like that defence.
Fault. 4-1.
Now Momota is on a breather again. The fact that he did not get to that one, but this one here, he's not really good. Look at that, he's half-hearted. He's on a breather again. And he's 4-1 down.
Now, I can understand the theory behind that, Morton, and we see it even with our great stars of the sport like Lin Dan. He'll have very, very fast 5 or 6 points, and then he'll take a bit of a breather. But to me, you come out from a 2-minute timeout between the games. You've won the first. The one thing you should be doing is stamping your authority and saying to your opponents,
Absolutely.
you know, so why take that breather?
I have no idea. I just don't get it. Once
No.
again, I have to say they shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. You're on a high, and you have to utilize that.
Mm.
Service over. 6-2.
And if Momota is going to win in 2, he's just got to work even harder when it comes to the end of this game then.
7-2.
Morton, I remember earlier in the week you talking about Kenichi Tago, the #1 men's singles player from Japan, and saying that, you know, there was a stamina problem.
Yes.
He too has
2.
explosive speed, incredible talent and skill as far as his racket work is concerned.
Yes.
Now, I'm looking at this and sort of thinking, well, you know, is this a similar problem? We know
I
that
don't think it's entirely
3.
similar, but a
No.
little bit similar. A little
Yeah.
bit. I think there is a resemblance in
Yeah.
it.
Tago has, of course, been injured, which, you know, means that his ability to train for a period of time and get the stamina to the level that he would want it to be, all of that has been interrupted. So, of course, one can understand why his fitness levels might be a bit low at the moment, but there doesn't seem a reason for Momota.
No, but I think that's one of the aspects of the game that the 2 Japanese men's singles players really have to work on, because to get through in a Super Series tournament, it really takes a lot of energy, and you know, you can have a lucky draw and you can win a few lucky matches maybe, and then you have a good chance. But I have to go back to Tago and ask you, and that's just simplifying my answer here. How many Super Series finals has he won?
0.
Absolutely. How many has he been
Service
in?
over.
6 or 7?
9.
Yeah.
3.
Never won it, because he's running out of
50%.
energy getting to the final.
Yes.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Well, they had a rally of 48 shots in the opening game.
9-3.
Oh yeah, he
10,
knew the strings
3.
had gone in his racket. Yeah, before that last shot, he knew it.
And once again, that's coming back to what we discussed earlier in the week as well. Does it really pay off to have these very, very hard tensions in the rackets?
Yeah,
Because you lose a lot of points on exactly what we saw here.
yeah.
Whether it's singles or doubles, it doesn't matter. You lose a lot of points on it. Can you afford it? That's my simple question.
Yeah, and my simple answer would be no.
10-3.
And as I said the other day, I don't think you gain enough from it, from the tight strings, in comparison to the number of points you lose by breaking the strings.
No.
11-3, interval.
Oh, it looks to
Momota
me...
wasn't ready when he was
No.
receiving that one.
No.
Karena dia udah enak, dia tambah kelihatan temannya enak lewat-lewat gitu. Jangan kepancing kalau pembukaan ini nanti dia agak geber dikit. Ya, belum habis sekali lagi tapi dia lewat lagi. Pegang sama cara main dulu ya. Ya, kan.
Twenty seconds. 20 seconds. 11-3. Play.
Well, the question
Service
is...
over for 11.
Does Momota look to you as if he's going to really fight for this second game? In my opinion, he has to. He has to go for the 2-game-to-love win to have any chance, really, of the semi-final.
I said that in the first game. I thought he shot himself in the foot there by leaving it that late. He managed to win it anyway. But this one, 11-4, 5-11 now. That's a huge deficit to catch up.
Yeah.
And if he's not making it, yes, it goes to 3. And yes, I think he has really, really dented his opportunity and chance for getting to the semi-final.
Yeah.
Obviously, all depends on the last match, but still.
Yeah.
Service over 12-5.
Yeah, I can't see a way back in this second game for Momota, surely.
No, this looks really difficult.
Yeah. And while Sugiarto has looked a little bit shaky in his earlier matches, I think every rally he's growing in confidence.
He is, but it's because he's not under pressure pace-wise. Momota is really not pushing him pace-wise, and then he's quite comfortable and he's fit, he's strong. He moves okay, he's not under pressure pace-wise. I'm in.
Mm. Oh, did you see Momota's movement as he lunged forward there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a walking pace.
Yeah. That's out, way out.
15-5.
Yeah, he's not interested in the second
16,
game.
5.
Interesting, though, that I think the shuttles are slightly faster today than they were yesterday and the day before.
I thought about that in the very first match, Morton, and I think that we've got a much bigger crowd in today,
17,
and I think literally
It's warming up.
it's warming up in the arena here.
$18, 5.
Oh, there's been no
Line
call
judge call, please.
from the line judge. Oof. Well, yeah,
Service over.
don't waste a
6,
challenge. You're so
18.
far up in this game.
Yes,
It was a sidelining question, wasn't it?
it was.
Yeah.
But I think that's a very good decision. Rather than trying to go for justice, you know, in or out, never mind. I'm on a roll.
Yeah.
I get the points. I'm way up. There's no
Service
reason
over.
to
Yeah.
break that rhythm.
19,
Yeah.
6.
And there's no need for that extra point either.
No. Good decision.
Yeah. We talked about that before, didn't we? They're
Service
using
over.
the
7,
challenges at the right
19.
time.
Yep.
Game points
Service
are
over.
plenty.
20, game point, 7.
Yeah.
Game.
21-7
Second game won by
No
K.Momota,
resistance
21-7.
in that second
One
game
game
from
off.
K.Momota. And all credit to T.Sugiarto. One game apiece in this men's singles.
Dia kelihatan habis tapi jangan kepancing dia dia rapinya bukan awal dia gitu lagi ingat ya sampai kendor jangan kasih angin kasih angin dulu lu pegang jadi besok ketemu lagi udah ini gimana semua sebenarnya お前のしっかり強い気持ちを持ってパターンしっかり1ゲームみたいに作る苦しくても、ね、それでやられたらやられたでいいからそしたら連続失点ないから
Kento. You can't change shirts to that shirt.
Oh, there's only two shirts.
You can't have the same color. He's got to go back to his old shirt then.
作業にした方がいいっすかマジで
Good umpiring. Good spot by Mike Walker. Can't change the colour of shirt midway through the match.
もうしっかり意地でいくよ頑張ってしっかりな声出しておばよ
And especially when your opponent is playing in that same colour. So we're ready for this third and deciding game. And imagine if this one is going against the winner of the first game as well as the previous matches, as you said just earlier. That would be
Final
quite
game.
interesting.
Love all. Play.
That's the smash I've been waiting for
Service
such
over.
a long time.
1
Every
love.
single time he's going straight down the line in a situation like that. This is the first one he's gone cross as a smash and not as a drop shot.
Sure. Kento.
Morten, just put me right here. When K.Momota changed his shirt for a dark shirt during that 2-minute timeout between the second and the third, and the umpire said, no, you can't do that. You can't change colour, and as you rightly pointed out, can't be the same colour as your opponent.
1 love.
Did he put on his shirt he'd already taken off?
Yes.
So it's his
Wet shirt.
his wet shirt.
Yes. He had to. He had no more. That's what his coach was saying.
Service over.
He hasn't got any more
1
than 2.
all.
He said,
Well,
doesn't matter, don't care.
Yeah.
You have to play in the red one.
Yeah. Well, I find that absolutely astonishing. Why on earth? I mean, these players, we've got $1 million prize fund here. Biggest purse in badminton. And these players are professional. They play badminton full time. You cannot turn up to a match without enough shirts.
No, you cannot.
It's simply not good enough.
No, it's not. It's not.
I know I'm harsh, but...
No, you're not harsh.
Oh, good get.
That's out. Yeah, that's out.
Challenge.
He will challenge it, but
Challenge. Sugiarto, call in.
Talking of not having enough shirts, I actually remember a badminton player who didn't turn up with enough rackets, with all the rackets broken.
okay.
Yeah, he'll remain nameless.
Yes.
Yeah, out.
Correction, out. Sweep the court, please.
Yeah, once the court mopped of the perspiration.
Service over, 2-1.
I'm not going to name him, Morten.
No, I
No,
know
that would be unfair.
It would. I'm really trying to get you to tell me, but nameless.
Yep. Oh, that's good.
That's the one I've been waiting for.
Yep.
Because suddenly now Sugiarto
Three,
can't just
one.
cover that straight one down the line, and that is now a completely different ball game.
And of course, every time that a player dives, the court attendant is asked to come on to mop up the perspiration. Missed it.
Service over, 2-3.
Yeah, good call, line judge.
That's an awesome lift.
Yeah, did well to control it because it was a
Yeah.
net cord. The shuttle was deflected.
Yes.
3-all.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Absolutely perfect.
4-3.
Ali Manaki likes that.
Five, 3.
I think I buy your argument. I
Which
really
one?
think I do, Joe. I think Japan is having a problem, physical
Yeah.
problem, in the men's singles. The two top men's single players simply not fit enough.
No.
Service
Because
over.
there's signs to me that he's trying to find early solutions.
4-5.
And as you keep pointing out, this sport is about thinking ahead, working the rally, waiting for the right opportunity.
On a very few and rare occasions, you, as I said earlier, you can bully your way through.
Yeah.
And simply just walk all over it and smash whatever thing you want to get down. You can do it, and it's just working your way. You hit the lines and all that, but that's very seldom you can do that. You have to work the strategy.
And that's the intrigue of the sport, isn't it?
It is.
We don't want the sport to only be about the big smash.
No. Service over.
Tactics is a huge part of our sport.
6-4.
Good play by Sugiarto here. Good smash. Good ankle.
Oh, that's a woeful backhand. Wasn't punished.
No. That's
Gone
out.
wide.
Service over. 5-6.
Yeah, it's nice.
Service over. 7-5.
Yeah, but look where his feet are when he played that smash. He was inside the doubles service line.
Yes.
Lift or clear from Momota, just far too short.
Good play. Good play there.
Service over. 6-7.
Was that 3 or was that 4 of those cross-court smashes? 3. And all 3
A winner.
a winner, and all 3 in this deciding game.
Yes.
Missed it.
7-all. Service over. 8-7.
Well, I know it's easy for me to sit here, Morton, but and criticise, which I don't really mean to do, but that to me was a poor error. You've played your opponent deep into his forehand corner. You're making him run the full diagonal of the court, not to make him play the shuttle.
Yeah, not to make him play it, yes. But I think Momota is finding this mentally very tough, because this is not his style of play. This is not what he likes.
Yeah.
He likes much faster, finishes on these rallies. He doesn't
Yeah.
like to work it the
Service
way
over.
have to do it now.
8
Yeah.
all.
So, you know, eventually he's going too tight on a shot and missing it. And I think that's exactly what Sugiarto should be waiting for.
Very quickly.
Just
How
keep
many
it going and keep it going, and I think Momota will crack.
Well, 1 game all, 8 all, exactly 1 hour of play.
Eight all. Nine, 8. Ten, 8.
See, in that situation, I think what was necessary for Sugiarto was not to play that cross-court shot, just to block it straight and keep it going. Block it straight, because there are hardly any rushes towards the net anymore, hardly any follow-ups. So you can just block it
Service
straight,
over.
there's no trouble.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to
9,
go for
10.
these fancy shots on his defense, just block it straight. Same goes for that one.
10 all.
Well,
11, 10.
it's
Interval.
Momota who
Change
has
in.
the advantage in this deciding game. But it could not be closer, because there has to be at least 1 point in it, and that's all there is.
ずーっとゆっくりやってたら相手正確に正確になるからさ、だから自分のハーフスマッシュみたいに作業みたいにさ、ちょっと沈めていけばさ、相手がちょっとショット乱れてくるからロブとかでも低く甘くなる時あるからさ、ね、こっちはペースゆっくりやったら相手正確にできる自信あるからさ、暇なんでもいいからちょっと自分でハーフスマッシュみたいな。
Gak enak, dia udah minggu pas enak deh. Ayo sayang bang ya. Jangan sayang lagi.
There's definitely a bit of a nasty cop there for Sugiarto.
Eleven, 10. Play.
It's landed in.
Yeah, he
12,
was lucky to
10.
get away with that, because the net shot he played was very loose. But Sugiarto didn't capitalize on it.
Oh, that is delightful.
That's a very, very good shot. Very
13,
good shot.
10.
Vicious slice on it. But how effective. That's marvellous.
14-10.
That's good pace by Momota now.
Yeah.
And that's why he's creating the gap here. It's much faster.
Service over. 11-14.
Too slow and too casual back to the base position, Momota, in that rally.
Yeah, he got caught in that deep forehand corner.
That was a good net shot from Sugiarto, put plenty of tumble on the shuttle. But just watch Momota's movement coming forward. Look, his whole torso falls forward.
Onto the other side of the net.
Yeah. If you're in balance and ready to get back for the next shot, torso should be upright.
Service over. 15-12.
Well wide.
Service over. 13-15.
Can't help but think whether the ends that the players are finishing are going to play its part, Morton, because of course from that far side of the court both players have done better.
That's quite interesting because that means playing with the drift.
That's a nice smash.
16-13.
And the reason you say that, Morton, is because normally singles players playing against the drift more beneficial.
They love to do it because then they can play their clears and lifts and not having to be too careful. If you play with the drift, it's much harder to control. But here, I think it's adding on a little pace to the smashes, so maybe that's why.
Yeah. It's wide. Good judgment.
17.
Creeping ever closer to his goal. 4-point advantage and just 4 points needed to secure the win.
Service over.
I don't think he can believe he pushed that one out. I don't think he can believe that. Look at this. He is reading it so well. He's up there.
Play, please.
Oh. It's going wide as well. Sugiarto is
17.
narrowing the deficit.
Sweep the court, please. Sweep the court, please.
There.
So, Jill, do you think he will make it? Do you think he will catch up?
Wait.
I think that's been quite a rest for Momota.
Yes.
15.
I
17.
think so too.
No, I don't think that was ideal from Sugiarto's point of view.
No, exactly.
Yeah, good smash.
Service over.
Yeah, there's more
18.
crisp
15.
to the smashes of Momota. This smash here is a very nice one. The two other ones by Sugiarto is not more than 75–70% of the pace and speed of what Momota has got. That's a chance again. Yeah.
Yeah, he's taken it beautifully. And that long rest, I think, has played right into the hands
Yes,
of
it
Momota.
definitely helped him.
Oh, it's just long. He's got no challenges left.
20.
It is long.
Point.
Yeah.
15.
It is long, definitely.
Okay. Well, it's 5 match point opportunities now. 3 straight points since that long interval. Oh, delightful. Oh, I don't believe it. Oh, my goodness me. My goodness me. The kill from Sugiarto bounced off the racket of Kento.
That's
and Momota.
unbelievable,
My
isn't it?
goodness me. What a final rally.
Match won by Kento.
That is extraordinary.
Momota.
Look at
Japan,
this. Look at
23,
this.
But this one is
21,
good. This one, but this is even better.
21, 15.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, can't believe it. I can't believe it.
What a way to finish.
Unbelievable. Well, all credit to the left-hander, Kento Momota, coming through in the deciding game, 21-15, after that disastrous second game. So he's secured the victory. 2 wins for him in the group. One thing is certain, Tommy Sugiarto will finish 4th in the group, but the other 3 placings will be decided by the final match in this group, which is Jan Jorgensen against Srikanth Kidambe. But well done, Momota, 3-game victory. So, as I say, this group is still far from decided, because looking at that, Jan Jorgensen against Srikanth Kadambi still yet to play. So if Jan Jorgensen was to win that, then of course there'd be 3 players with 2 wins apiece, and then it would come down to games won, lost, and if necessary, points won, lost. Other group is already decided. Chen Long, top of the group. Son Wan-ho had to retire injured, and therefore none of his matches count towards the final calculation. And with Hans Christian Vitinghus winning his match